Good morning, everyone. This is the Friday recording. I'm going to continue on with the pen tool, move on to the next two assignments that you should be working on. Again, take your time on all of these assignments. I want you to get comfortable with the pen tool. And if that means you have to go back a couple times and redo the assignments, that's perfectly fine. But like I said, I want you to get as comfortable with the pen tool as possible because it is an important tool in Illustrator. Okay. So again, I'm going to continue on with the next couple pen tool assignments. They have instructions on them as far as how you're going to manipulate the handles, the direction handles, and where you're going to put your anchor points. Okay, so I'm here in Canvas. Again, I'm going to go to module 2, the pen tool, go to the pen tool assignments. Also, I want to mention that any new videos that I post will be put here in the pen tool assignment videos page. I will also put an announcement up on the front, letting you know that I have updated some, uploaded new videos or posted new links to new videos, but you will find them here in the pen tool assignment videos. Okay. And as always, any questions, don't hesitate to email me. I will get back to you as soon as possible with your, to answer your question. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the pen tool assignments. And the video that I posted yesterday was a review of the fire truck and the ladybug, the monster, and the car trailer. Today I am going to be working on the pen tool 1 and 2. They both kind of have the same the concepts are the same in both of them. The shapes that you're drawing are a little bit different in each. Okay. So they do have instructions, like I said, and I'm going to walk through the first pen tool, one pen tool, and then go start on the second one, see how far I get on that one. I may break this up into 2 different videos because they are a little bit, some of them are a little bit more detailed than others. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and download one pen tool to my computer. And I'm going to save it here in my folder on the desktop. I have already had it saved there. I'm just going to go ahead and replace it so that I make sure that it's a fresh file. I may have been testing it, but I'm going to go ahead and download it again. And then I'm going to switch over to Illustrator. And then I'm going to go click the open button. And I'm going to go to my desktop. And the folder where I saved the file is on my desktop. It's number 1 pen tool. And I'm going to go ahead and click open on that. And this is what you're going to see when you open the file. Okay. So there are 2, 4, 6, 7 little pen tool assignments on this one page. Okay. And again, they do each have instructions, and it's basically a dot to dot like you did with the fire truck. But in this case, it's giving you some more instructions on what you need to do with each of them. Okay, so we have straight lines, curved lines, multiple curves. So the curves are going in different directions. Curves with corner points, which means you're going to remove one of the direction handles. And then you have curves with corner points. You're going to move the direction handle up or down, depending on which direction it tells you on the instructions. And then you have combining curves with straight lines. And then the last one down here is curves with corner points and tweaking handles. The one at the bottom is a little bit more difficult. Some of the instructions are a little confusing. Again, these aren't files that I created. I've been using these for quite a few years. But I will walk through this one here at the bottom a couple times just so that you can understand it a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to start with the star. I'm going to zoom in. So command or control plus will zoom you in. And then if you hold down your space bar, that allows you to move the file, the document around and position it so that you can see what you're working on a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm going to do command plus one more time just so I can get in a little bit closer. I am going to select my pen tool. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here in my toolbox and I am going to click the little red line so that I turn off the fill, so that as I'm drawing, all I have is the line around or the stroke around here. So I can see all of the places where I need to put down an anchor point. Okay, so that's the first thing you should do after you select your pen tool, is come over here and click on the little red line to turn off the fill. You can also do that over here in your properties panel, where it says appearance. If you click on that square, you will find the little red line that indicates none. Okay. So make sure that you do that first. You do that first before you start drawing. That way you can see the numbers or the instructions as you are drawing. Okay. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and close this little window here. I have my pen tool selected, and again, you're just clicking and adding anchor points around on each of those numbers. So I'm going all the way around. I'm just clicking with the mouse, and then I'm going to come back to number 1, and I'm going to add, when you get back to number 1, you'll see that little circle behind the pen tool, and that's going to indicate that you are going to close this path, create a closed path or a complete shape. Okay, so always look for that little circle behind there. And then once you see that, you can go ahead and click on that first anchor point. And now it is a complete closed path. Okay. So that one is pretty straightforward. You're just clicking and adding anchor points around. Again, practice it as many times as you need to. If you are, if you want to delete what you have here, you can press the delete key twice and that will get rid of it. Or if you have moved on to another section and you want to come back and redo one of the sections, you're going to go to your selection tool and then click on the line, click anywhere on the line, and it will give you this bounding box, and then you can delete what you have done. Okay. So that's how you would select something and delete it if you want to come back and redo it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. And this is to draw a circle. Okay. Excuse Excuse me. Okay, so here are the instructions. So you're going to click, you're going to hold down your mouse and you're going to press here on this circle. And then you're going to hold down your shift key. So it's going to constrain the direction of the direction handle. Okay, so I'm going to go get my pen tool. I'm going to double check and make sure that my fill is turned off, which it is, because that's the last thing that I did. Or on the star that I drew, I had already turned it off. So it's going to remain off unless I go and select a color. Okay, so then on number 1, I'm going to hold down my mouse button and my shift key. And I'm going to draw or pull my direction handle so that on the right-hand side, that little circle lines up with the big gray circle. Okay, and I'm going to let go of the mouse and then the shift key. And you can see I went the wrong direction with my direction handle. So let me try that again. I'm going to hold down my hold down my mouse, and I'm going to rotate that direction handle. So I'm going to go to the right, and then I'm holding down my shift key so it constrains the direction, and then let go. And then I'm going to come down here to number 3. So you can see the rubber band is now going in the correct direction. So if your curve or your rubber band coming from the anchor point is going the wrong direction, then all you need to do is rotate your direction handle like I just did. Okay, so now I'm going to go to number 3, hold down my mouse button, hold down the shift key, and drag. And that's going to, and then I'm going to drag down to number 4 to move that direction handle down to number 4. And then I'm going to let go of the mouse and then the shift key. Come over here to number 5, hold down the mouse button, hold down the shift key, click and drag to number 6. Okay, let go of the mouse, then the shift key. Come up here to number 7, hold down my mouse, hold down my shift key, drag up to number 8, let go of the mouse, then the shift key, come back to number 1, and you should see the little circle behind the pen tool. Hold down my mouse button, hold down my shift key, and drag again to number 2. And that will create your complete shape at this point. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do this one more time. Hold down my mouse button, shift key, drag to number 2. Come down to number 3, hold down your mouse, hold down your shift key, drag to number 4. Come over to number 5, hold down the mouse button, the shift key, and then go to number 6. Come up here to 7, hold down the mouse, shift key, and then drag to 8. And then come up here to number 1 again, hold down the mouse button, and then the shift key, and drag to number 2. Okay. So it may take a few attempts for you to get it, correct, but practice. If it doesn't line up exactly, that's fine. I'm more concerned about you learning the concept of, clicking and dragging and adding the anchor points or adding the direction handles. So if it doesn't line up exactly, that's fine. I'm just more concerned about you figuring out the direction handles and so forth. Okay, so now I'm going to move down here to the next one. So this is multiple curves. So the curves are going in different directions. Okay, so you have one going up, one going down, and one going up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start here on number 1. So it says click and hold the mouse down. So you're gonna hold the mouse down. You're gonna hold down the shift key and you're gonna drag up to number 2. And then you're gonna let go of the shift key. And then you're gonna come over to number 3, hold down the mouse, hold down the shift key, and drag to number 4. Okay. And as you can see, the farther down I drag, the more of a curve, the higher the curve goes. Because I'm holding down the shift key, the direction handle is not moving to the left or to the right. It's just staying up and down. Okay, then I'm gonna let go of the mouse, then the shift key, come over here to number 5, hold down the mouse, hold down the shift key, and drag up to number 6. Come over here to number 7, hold down the mouse, the shift key, and drag down to number 8. Okay, let go of the mouse and then the shift key. Now at this point, I am done with this line. If I was to move my mouse and try and continue the line, the section next to it, this line is going to continue over there. I don't want that line to continue. I want it to stop right here. So I'm going to press my escape key on the keyboard. It's the key up in the top left corner of your keyboard. And that's going to stop the line from continuing. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this one more time. So I'm going to do each of them twice. Okay. So I press my delete key twice to get rid of it. Because I had just finished it. If I wanted to go back and delete it again, you're going to use your, you're going to select it with the selection tool and then click on the line and then press your delete key. Okay. So again, I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to hold down my mouse, hold down my shift key, and I'm going to drag up to number 2. Let go of the mouse, let go of the shift key, come over here to number 3, hold down the mouse, hold down the shift key, drag down to number 4. Come over here to number 5, hold down my mouse, hold down the shift key, and drag up to number 6. Let go of the mouse and then the shift key, come over here to number 7, hold the mouse down, hold down the shift key, and drag to number 8. Then I'm going to let go of the mouse, let go of the shift key, and then press my escape key, and it ends that particular line. Okay, so it's just a matter of going up and down with your the direction handles, determine which direction your curve is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to move over here to this one. This one is a little bit different. When you get down, when you create your direction handle down here at the bottom, you're going to come back up to this anchor point and hover over it and remove the direction handle. Okay. So remember that chart that's in the pen tool assignment, you have that upside down V that appears behind your pen tool. That is how you convert your anchor points from curved lines to corner lines. Okay. All right, so on number 1, so I'm going to hold down the mouse, hold down the shift key, and I'm going to drag down to number 2. So I'm just dragging a direction handle. I'm going to come up here to number 3 and click once just to add the anchor point. Then if I move my mouse just a little bit to the left or to the right, I get that little upside down V. And at that point, you're going to hold down your mouse and you're going to drag just a direction handle down from that anchor point. And you'll know that it's a direction handle because it has the little circle behind at the end of the line. If it doesn't have that direction handle, or I mean that little circle behind it, that means that you're actually dragging out another line. Okay, so you should just see this direction handle. You shouldn't see the black line that comes from the line, or the line. Okay, so you should just see that little circle, and you're going to line it up with number 4. Come over here to number 5 and click. Move the mouse just slightly until you see that upside down V, and drag a direction handle down from number 5 and line it up with number 6. And then come over here to number 7 and click once. Move the mouse slightly so that you see that upside down V, and then drag your direction handle down. Okay. So again, it should just be the line with the little circle at the bottom. If it's not, then you're actually drawing a line, and you want to Command Z or Control Z, back one step until you get just the direction handle. Okay, again, I'm done with this line, so I'm going to press the Escape key to stop the line. Otherwise, if I move to another part of it, it will continue drawing a line, and I don't want to do that at this point. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one more time. So I'm going to press my Delete key so I can delete what I just did. Again, on number 1, I'm going to hold down my mouse, hold down my Shift key, drag my direction handle down so it lines up to number 2. Come over here, and now you can see I went the wrong direction with my direction handle, so I'm going to have to redo that. So again, hold down the mouse, and I'm going to go to the left to change the direction of my curve. Nope, I did it the wrong way again. All right, so let's try that one more time. Hold down my mouse, drag down to number 2. There it goes. Okay, so if it goes the wrong direction, just churn your direction handles in the opposite direction. Okay, so then I'm going to just click on number 3, move my mouse just slightly until I get the upside down V, drag a direction handle down to number 4, come over here to number 5 and click. Then move my mouse just slightly so I get the upside down V, drag a direction handle down to number 6. Come over here to number 7, click the mouse, move it just slightly until I get the upside down V, and then drag the direction handle down to number 8. And then when I get to that point, I'm going to press the Escape key so it stops that line. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out just a bit so I can come over here to this one. Okay, so let me zoom back in. Okay, so I'm going to hold down my space bar and move the window over. And again, you can use your scroll bars on the right, the left, and the bottom if you want to move your window around that way. But I usually just use the space bar to move hold down the space bar to get the hand so I can move the page around at that point. Okay. All right, so this one, we're going to introduce a new modifier key, the Option key, which is going to allow you to move your direction handle up on one end and allow you to do the curves like you see them here. Okay. So on number 1, I'm going to hold down my mouse and I'm going to drag up to number 2. I'm going to come over here to number 3, hold down my mouse, drag down to number 4. And then at this point, I'm going to hold down my Option key, and you can see it's changing to an upside down V, a larger upside down V. And you can right there when you do that, you should see the word handle. And that's letting you know that you are going to reposition the handle that you just pulled down from number 3. So if I hold down the Option key and then move the mouse, you'll see that I have the line with the little ball at the end of it, or a little circle at the end of it. Excuse me. And I'm moving that up to number 6. Okay. Let go of the mouse and then the Option key. And now when I come over to 7, you can see that the curve is going in the correct direction. If I would have not moved the direction handle up to number 6, the curve would have gone the other direction. Okay, so I'm coming over to number 7, hold down my mouse, drag down to number 8, let go of the mouse, hold down your Option key, and as you hover over that little circle at the end of the direction handle, move that up to number 10. Come over to number 11, hold down your mouse, drag to number 12. Hold down your Option key on the handle, drag that up to number 14. Let go of the mouse and then the Option key. Come over here to number 15. Click and drag so that the direction handle lines up on number 16. And then at that point, you are done with this line. Okay. And then you press your Escape key to finish that line so that you can continue on to the next one. Okay. So I'm going to do this one more time. So I'm going to click and drag. Oops. I'm going to click and drag and go up to number 2. Come over here to number 3, click and drag with my mouse down to number 5. Hold down my Option key, hover over the little direction handle circle, and then drag that up to number 6. Come to number 7. Click and drag, go down to number 8, hold down the Option key, drag the handle up to number 10, come over to number 11, click and drag to number 12, hold down the Option key, drag that handle up to number 14, and then come here to number 15, click and drag down to 16, and then press the Escape key to end that to end that line. Okay, then I'm going to hold up my space bar, come over here to this one. Now this one is a combination of doing curves and straight lines. So we are going to use the same concept of hovering over the anchor point to remove the direction handle from the bottom or the top, depending on which one we are going for. Okay. Okay, so on number 1, I'm going to click the mouse, hold down the Shift key, drag up to number 2. Over here to number 3, hold down the mouse, drag to number 4. And then let go. And number 5, I'm going to hover over that anchor point that was on number 3. And I should get that upside down V. When you get that upside down V, go ahead and click on that anchor point, and it's going to remove this direction handle down here at the bottom. So I'm going to click on that. And now I don't have a direction handle down here at the bottom, which is fine. I now have a line that's going to be a straight line as opposed to a curved line. Okay, so then on number 6, I'm going to hold down my mouse, hold down the shift key. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Number, sorry. On number 6, I'm just going to click to add my anchor point. So I have a straight line. Now I'm going to hover over the anchor point, get the upside down V, and drag a direction handle down. Now I can come over to 8, hold my mouse down, and drag up to number 9. Then I'm going to hover back over that anchor point at number 8 and remove that direction handle. Remove the direction handle. And then come over here to number 11 and click. All right, come over here to number 11 and click. Hover over that anchor point so that I can get the direction handle up to number 12. Come over here to number 13, click and drag, and go down to number 14. And then at this point, I am done with the line. I can press my escape key. And that completes that line. Okay, so I'm going to delete that and do that again. I got a little confused over here on this one side, so I'm going to do this again. Okay, so I'm going to hold down my mouse, hold down my shift key, drag up to number 2, come over here to number 3, hold down my mouse, the shift key, and go to number 4. Come back over here to number 5, hover over that anchor point and get the upside down V. I'm going to click on that anchor point to remove the direction handle from the bottom. Come over here to number 6 and click. And then on the anchor point, when I get the upside down V, hold down my shift key and bring down the direction handle. Come over here to number 8, hold down the mouse, hold down the shift key, and drag up to number 9. Come back over here to number 10, hover over that anchor point. When you get that upside down V, click. Come over here to number 11 and click the mouse again. Hover over the anchor point until you see the upside down V. Hold down your shift key, drag a direction handle, and then drag the direction handle up to number 12. Come over here to number 13, hold down your mouse, and then drag your direction handle down to number 14, and then press your escape key to stop that line. Okay, so now I'm going to move on down to the last one on this particular page. It's a combination of the concepts on this page, a couple different concepts that you've used on these other lines. Okay, so, oops, do that. So I'm going to hold down my space bar. And I'm going to move down here to this one at the bottom. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because it kind of goes a little bit on both sides. And if I zoom in too much, it's going to be a little bit harder to draw it. Okay. So this, like I said, has a combination of concepts from all of the ones that you've been doing on this particular page. Okay, and then at one point it does get a little confusing. The way it's worded is a little confusing. So I will do it the way I've found easiest to do it. Again, so the little directions may be a little confusing, but if you follow the way that I'm doing it here in this video, it should make a little bit more sense to you. Okay. So on number 1, I'm going to hold down my mouse and I'm going to drag to number 2. So I'm dragging my direction handle to number 2. I'm going to come over here to number 3. So 3, the anchor point or the place where you're going to put number 3 is on the right-hand side of the line. So I'm going to hold down my mouse and I'm going to drag to number 4. And then let go. And then you're going to hover over number 5. And when you get the upside down V, then you're going to drag that direction handle down to number 6. So it's like it's like holding down the option key, but in this case, you're just hovering over the anchor point to pull down that direction handle further down here, so that when you make the curve over to number 7, that you have the correct length of a direction handle to make that curve the way it should be. Okay, so then you're going to come over to number 7, hold down the mouse and drag to number 8. Now, again, the lines may not line up exactly with the light gray line in the background. That's fine. I'm more concerned about you getting the concept of pulling out the direction handles, how far they go. The farther out you pull them, the longer the curve, and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to let go of my mouse, come over here to number 9, look for the upside down V. And at this point, I'm going to pull the direction handle down here. Pull the direction handle. It's okay. So I made a mistake here. So instead of hovering over that anchor point, the directions say to hold down the option key. So if you hover over where it says handle, the little circle, hold down your option key. And then you can pull this handle down to number 10. Okay. So again, this one is you're holding down your option key, hovering over where it says handle, and drag that handle down to number 10. Let go of the mouse and then the option key. Come over here to number 11. Hold down your mouse, drag up to number 12. Up here. Then you're going to come back down to number 13. And then at this point, when you get the upside down V, you can then drag that new handle or shorten the handle to number 14. And then come back over here to number 15 and just click to complete your line. Okay, even so it says to drag to number 16. I just go ahead and finish this by clicking on the first anchor point that I put down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do this one 2 more times since I messed up on number 7. Okay, so on number 1, I'm going to click and drag and go to number 2. Let go of the mouse. Come over here to number 3, click and drag and go to number 4. Come back up here to number 5, look for the upside down V. And at this point, you're going to drag that direction handle down to number 6. Then I'm going to come over here to number 7, hold down my mouse and drag to number 8. let go of my mouse, hold down my Option key, hold down my Option key, and drag that direction handle down to number 10. And then let go. Then come up here to number 11, click and drag to number 12, let go, come down here again to number 13, look for the upside down V, and then drag that direction handle to 14. And then come over here to number 15. And when you see the little upside down, or not the upside down, when you see the little circle next to the pen tool, go ahead and click. Now you have a complete line. Okay. So I'm going to do it one more time since the first time I messed up on this instructions here. Okay. So I'm going to press my delete key twice to get rid of it. And again, click and drag and go to number 2. Come over to number 3, click and drag and go to 4. Click and drag and go to number 4. Come back up to number 5. Hover over that anchor point when you see the upside down V. Drag that direction handle down to number 6. Come over here to number 7, click and drag and go to number 8. Hold down the Option key, hover over the handle here, up at number 8, drag that down to number 10. Come over here to number 11, click and drag up to number 12. Hover over number 13, get the upside down V, drag that direction handle up to 14. And then come over here to number 15 and click to fill that or complete that circle. Or I mean, complete that line. And because I did a complete line or a complete shape, I don't need to press the escape key. The escape key is when you press the escape key, I should say, when you are just drawing a line and you're finished with the line and you want to move on to another part of the line. You can press your escape key and it will stop that line and then allow you to start drawing another one. Okay, so this concludes the lecture for this particular pen tool assignment. The pen tool, the 2 pen tool that you have over here in Canvas, number 2 pen tool is pretty much similar to this one. You have a couple different shapes that you have to draw. I will do another video on those. There's a couple of them that I'm going to focus on that particular one that are maybe a little bit more difficult to work on, but some of the other parts of the assignment are similar to what I just went over on this one. Okay. So again, I will do a separate video on number 2 pen tool, focusing on a couple of them that are a little bit more difficult. And then next week we'll move to the C shapes and the animal shapes. These are don't have really instructions on them, but they do have little dots or little squares where you would potentially put an anchor point. Okay. So again, these the C shapes and the animal shapes are the assignment for next week. If you feel comfortable enough going ahead and moving on to these 2, you're more than welcome to do that without, until I do the video. You can practice on those. But for this week coming up, The two that you need to concentrate on is the 1 pen tool and the 2 pen tool. Okay. So again, any questions, don't hesitate to email me. I will get back to you as soon as possible. And, you know, just kind of give me a rundown of what your, what problems you're running into. And I may do, just a little separate video or give you some more explanation in the email when I email you back. Okay, so this concludes this video for the pen tool number 1. Again, I will be making a separate little video for number 2, going over just a couple of those on that page. Okay, so yeah, again, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and any questions, don't hesitate to email me.